and welcome to the TCX Podcast. We are back after the holidays of the rabbit. Of course, we took a little break, but that's fine. We're back again, and we got lots of stuff to talk about. And today I am joined by...
Hey, this is the Philosopher, aka Tavian, from Michigan. Good to be back.
Wouldn't it be Tavian, aka the Philosopher?
No, I go by the Philosopher. Nobody knows my true identity until just now. Just gave it
and
away.
The other podcasts.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, good to have you here. And we're also joined by...
Tyler, this is the Video Game Hunter, and I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Awesome. It's great to have you guys. Just a small crew today, which is fine. Fine by me. So, how'd you guys, I guess, holiday go?
I just stayed home, ate sweets. That's about it.
Got to see my sister from college and just hung out, had some good dinner, relaxed, played some games.
Cool. Speaking of games, one of the, I guess, longest running franchise just released a game, I believe, yesterday, and that was Mortal Kombat 10.
Oh, yeah.
Hooray!
So I know there's a bunch of pictures of the Video Game Hunter at the release party, so how'd it go there?
At first, it was not that many people, but they let us play the game before it got released.
Right.
It's pretty much like 9, but it is faster than 9 though. Well, there's not really much I can say about the party except I got a lot of selfies.
Yeah. You dressed up in your scorpion costume again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, hello. We are joined by Antonio, otherwise known as...
The man with no name.
The man with no name. The man with no mic. Quick, everyone talk about how crappy he is.
Too late, I already did.
Who, me?
Whoa. Welcome, Antonio.
Hey,
How's
guys.
it
Look at this.
Hello.
He just comes in. We've already started. We've been doing this for half an hour. He pops in just nonchalantly. What is this?
Of course. What are you talking
We
about?
just started like a minute ago, so.
There you go.
But it's good to have you. Why don't you just introduce yourself since you're here and some people don't know who you are?
Yeah, hi, guys. This is Antonio Diaz from Guadalajara, Mexico.
Otherwise known as?
Otherwise known as Gokado Retro Reviews in YouTube. So you can watch, you can just check me out there. And I do reviews of all video games.
There you go. We were just talking about Mortal Kombat X and the selfie fest that Tyler was part of in his Mortal Kombat costume. Were you able to break it down and dance?
Nah, there was no dancing involved this time.
Oh, man.
No friendships?
Oh.
No friendship. But part of me wanted to do that at the Arcade Expo.
There you go.
Like pick up a random toy and just give it to someone.
So, Tavian, have you played the new one yet?
No, but I will soon, probably tomorrow. I was going to go to the midnight release yesterday, but I had some articles to finish, so I'm a little sad, but I got a little fighting game community I go to that I'm going to sit down and dig into it.
Cool. So, I guess, Tyler there, you got the collector's edition, correct?
Yep, I got the most expensive one, the Scorpion statue.
So, speaking of that statue, straight up, for some reason, if I bought that, I would feel a little pissed off. Because when you compare that collector's edition to what came with the collector's 9 edition, it just seems like a really weird Nickelodeon statue.
Really? Well, let's look at the 9. I see Sub-Zero, and I see my Scorpion next to my Genesis.
Mm-hmm. And he has, he's throwing the spike, and it's popping through Sub-Zero, right? Like the 2 bookends?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. That's cool. That's an awesome idea. But this Scorpion just seems like it's not the same style as the game, so it seems really weird that they put it in there. Or am I totally wrong about that?
Well, yeah, Scorpion is not like the undead this time around. No, he's well alive. He has his own body back.
Was it the Kanzo Hitori? Is that his name?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about him. But no, he's a human now. He's alive. They don't explain how though. Why is he a human now?
I think they're doing a reboot though, or no, actually they're not because this is a continuation. This is in the future. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Because let's see. Let me think. I actually just beat the story, and the story is really short, and not once have they explained. Hey, I guess I'm not the undead anymore.
Really? So this story of Part 10 is pretty short?
Yes. I did a stream today, which I did like a 4-hour stream, and I played an hour of it yesterday when I got home. So I say the game is no longer than like 3.5 hours. The story, anyway.
And that's why Mortal Kombat 2 is the best Mortal Kombat ever.
Which Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat 2.
2.
2. Which version?
Whichever, Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo.
Not the 32X?
Yeah, you can throw the 32X as well. Sure.
Okay.
See, if you
you know what? Yeah, I've not played the 32X version yet. What's the difference there?
It's more closer to the arcade,
Well,
but not exactly.
Okay, I'm looking at the picture of Scorpion and I'm seeing what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm saying? It just doesn't seem like it belongs with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it in person, but like it does look very like I don't know, Teen Titan-y card like I don't know. It doesn't look like the Mortal Kombat style. It looks a little
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Nickelodeon. There you go.
Yeah, I'm looking at giving a good closer look, and yeah, it looks like it came from the Foot Clan from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, there you go. It looks like it belongs on the new Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Maybe there's some backstory to that, kind of like how McFarlane did the Halo figurines for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's some certain person behind it. I'm just trying to give it some sort of justification or glimmer of hope as to why it looks the way it does.
Yeah, I mean, it looks off-put, or unsettling, really.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, it is what it is. Collector's editions are obviously the big rage nowadays. I mean, I just picked up the Order Collector's Edition for a whopping $39.99 from GameStop because they have a plethora of them and they're just trying to get rid of them.
Really? How's the game? Is it really short, like they said?
I haven't actually played it because I couldn't open it.
Why not?
They have this stupid sticker over top of it, and I just don't have my keys or anything to open it down here. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll play it later, and then I end up playing something else. So.
How hard is it to go upstairs to get a knife and come back down?
I am 6'1", lazy.
Also,
over there.
And run after a 4-year-old all day.
Yeah, a knife and a 4-year-old do not mix.
So, but it is what it is. I mean, the collector's editions are all the rage, but to me, it's got to be something worthwhile when you're spending that money. I mean, look at the Call of Duty ones. Those are getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know the best collector's edition was? It's Street Fighter 4.
I was just about to say that. I have that one. That's one of the few that I bought.
Yeah, a music CD and a movie. And a little toy. That's pretty awesome right there.
And you get Street Fighter 4, you get Street Fighter 2 HD Remake, you get Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, you get the belt, you get the light-up statue, you get one more game, I think. Oh, Street Fighter X Tekken. That's a collector's edition. You get your money's worth out of that. You get like a 9-disc CD music soundtrack set.
You know what's the worst collection set I ever bought? That Assassin's Creed one.
No. Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem?
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember which Assassin's Creed it was, but it was the one with Jack in the Box.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Because, I was excited for it. It's like, oh, it's going to crank, play music, and pop right out. Nope, it's just a plastic Happy Meal toy.
Plastic key.
With a plastic key.
Yeah. And you can use anything to pry that thing open, so you don't need the key anyway. Yeah.
That's like the biggest waste of money I ever spent.
What about you, Antonio? Any collector's editions?
Yeah, I really don't have a lot of them, but for sure, the one I like the most so far is the first, StarCraft 2, the first one.
Okay.
It came with a USB stick that had the first StarCraft game in it.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and the box itself, it's really nice looking as well.
Cool. So we'll hop off the Mortal Kombat talk here. So if anyone agrees with what I said, let us know in the comments. Or if you disagree with what I said about that statue, let me know in the comments. Let me know where you think it's from. But Phil Spencer says that any Rare or Microsoft character is fair game and open to be in the new Smash Brothers game or new games. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh boy.
As long as I get the elephant from Diddy Kong's Racing, I'm okay with it.
I don't think that's going to happen. But if he does get him, then he needs to sing that song that he's always humming.
All like a song. All like a.
No, I think that's I'm torn. I'm hopeful. I'm gonna say it's kind of optimistic, but it sounds really awesome. Of course, you got to have Master Chief in there, but I mean, who else do you think that they'd put in there?
Well, I mean, when it comes to Rare characters, you have Banjo-Kazooie, you have Conker from anyone from Conker's Bad Fur Day, of course Diddy Kong Racing, Perfect Dark. There's a pretty good list there. I mean, the alien from Perfect Dark. But yeah, to me, when it comes to Rare games or Rare as a company, I can see that. But when it comes to them saying Nintendo can do any quote unquote of their characters, I don't really think there's a lot that they could choose from besides like Master Chief or who else? Who else does Microsoft have? That's
only thing I can think of, which I highly doubt they would do, is anyone from Gears of War.
I was about to say, how about one of the characters from Fable?
Okay, I can see that, actually. I don't know what they would do, but I can see that.
Yeah.
A very safe sort of game. Even though it is a violent game, it just has that undertone of comedic violence.
You saying Halo is not?
Not much. I mean...
But they have been in a non-violent fighting game, though. Or not Master Chief itself, but A Spartan has been in a fighting game that doesn't have any blood in it.
Oh yeah, Dead or Alive.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really not too far-fetched, and I can see them doing it.
Okay.
Now, does Microsoft own... Microsoft doesn't own the rights to Rare, right?
I think they do.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So is it just Rare characters, or is it also Microsoft characters?
I think as Phil Spencer said, he'd like any Microsoft characters, but I think generally leaning towards the Rare characters, mainly Banjo-Kazooie, and probably like Viva Pinata. I mean, you can't, those are characters that will fit right into the whole Smash Brother universe, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, they can have... Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, as for other characters, I don't really see what else there could be.
All right.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? There's a lot of other things they can do. I mean, they can have a 747, like Microsoft Flight Simulator, go in and crash and kill everyone. There you go.
Maybe that could be one of their power-ups or something, one of their assists.
Oh, assist trophies, man. Yeah, that'd be possible.
I was just thinking of levels.
Oh, levels-wise, they could do anything. Like, I think levels-wise it'd be really good, but I just don't see a lot. Like, what, Tomb Raider?
No.
Age of Empires, man. Age of
That's
Killer
Empires.
Instinct characters?
Well,
Sunset Overdrive character?
yeah, I can see Sunset Overdrive. Yeah. But which character? We can't say the main character since he's customizable.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is like I just don't. There's just not a lot of kid-friendly characters that would really fit. But yet again, I wouldn't say a Solid Snake would fit, and yet here he was. Right?
So if you guys, between Rare and Microsoft, do you have like a top 5 dream characters that you'd want to see in it? I know you said the elephant before.
Yes, top 1 all the way, 100%.
You guys got any other ones you'd like to see?
For me personally, I would love to see the PlayStation's Battle Royale All-Star game go in with Super Smash Brothers. Has all your PlayStation characters, has all your Nintendo characters. You shove them all together. You balance it out as in a Super Smash Brothers, and there you go. You got yourself a crap ton of new characters and a fun game.
Sounds like a game I always wanted. All 3 system fighting.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan of the Battle Royale game. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was fun. And people are like, "Oh, it's just a Smash Brothers clone." Well, it's a little different. It was more competitive in the sense that you're not just trying to kill the person; you're trying to get as much power as possible, right?
I haven't played it yet.
There were things I liked about it, but I just competitively I couldn't really get into it because it was the way that you kill someone. You had to have a power up, and it just made it like who could steal whose power ups the most, and you could be doing a free for all. And you'd suffer because someone else was just losing terribly and giving away a lot of orbs. So I mean, it was a really fun game, but like I just couldn't take it competitive because like there was a lot of quote unquote BS moments.
True.
But I mean, it was a really great game and a great concept. Like, the gameplay, it felt really nice. It was just some of the they should have had a different game mode where it wasn't reliant on just the power ups.
No, and I agree. I agree with that. Like, I think more would have been better.
Yeah.
More would have been better. It's a shame that we're never going to see a sequel or anything else like that again.
Yeah. What about, I know it's an indie game, but Microsoft owns the rights to it. Dust and Elysian Tale.
I don't know that game.
It's this really great action platformer, sort of RPG about this. He's like a fox type character. He kind of looks like almost like a furry type character. And
okay.
It's a great game, and I could see him being a Smash game.
I don't think Microsoft owns the rights to that.
They do. I contacted him a few years ago, and was trying to see if I can get the rights to his character for a game, but he couldn't give it away because Microsoft owned the rights to the character.
Okay, but the game is released on the PS4.
Was it? I thought it was only Xbox and PC.
No, it's released on the PS4, and it was one of the free games for December.
Oh man, I didn't even know that.
That's why I'm asking. Like, if it's a exclusive only, it's on the PS4. I played it. And it's a sweet ass game.
Yeah. Huh.
It's a great story. Like, if it's a great 2D side scroller type adventure game.
But the publisher is Microsoft Games. It's so weird. But it is on the PS4. It is on a Mac OS as well. So I don't know how that works out.
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, but it's a good game if anybody's played it.
Yes, play it. Definitely play it.
How's it called?
Dust and then colons and Elysian Tale. Yeah, it's a $10 game, I think, $15. It's well worth the price tag.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Beautiful art story, great storyline, great gameplay. Definitely check it out.
I'll have to remember it to buy it for my PS4 when I get one.
There you go.
There you go. When you get one, it'll probably be really cheap because it's one of the games that's just. It was one of the games that was free, so it's never going to be free again. But it's still a sweet game.
Yeah.
And with game sharing, it makes it easy. So if you got a PS4, you could say, "Hey, Kaz, you have this game. Can I try it?" And I share the game with you, and you can play it at home.
That's even better.
Yeah. So
I'll get you to buy all the games, and then you can share it with me.
there you go. So what about anyone else have any characters that they'd love to see in a Super Smash Brother game? I know the team from Super Meat Boy said that they're pushing to try to get their character into the next game as well. Do you think this is really a smart idea, or do you think these guys are just not just Super Meat Boy, but even like Phil Spencer? Are they just grasping at straws, trying to be relevant, or do you think something like this would actually happen?
I think it's a little bit of both. I know I don't know much about Team Meat anymore. I know they made another game, and I think it was good. But it would definitely help their publicity for people who are like exclusive PC gamers. And then I don't know, is Super Meat Boy on a Nintendo console at all?
I don't think so. I think it's a very violent game.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
Could the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles be a part of it?
That Smash Up game they had.
Yeah, they have their Smash Up game. I don't know if they could be a part of it, but Super Smash Brothers put out this thing stating for anyone to say what character would you like to see in the next or in our game, and they asked for anybody, any character, anything. Who would you like to see? And they did this huge thing out to the public. So I would assume that Ninja Turtles would be fair game.
Mm-hmm.
I would like that. Come on, 4 Renaissance artists. Come on.
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how a Super Meat Boy game or a character would work in this game anyway. I can see a few ideas, but I don't think they're the best fit for that kind of game, especially because of like what you said, it is a very violent game.
Well, even if you're talking about the blood then. That's the only thing that you believe it's could be hard to replicate for the game? Or do you mean the mechanics of how it's controlled?
What would Super Meat Boy do?
Right.
Move-wise, right? I mean, his whole idea of a game is he gets hit, he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but I mean, if you consider that they were able to have Mr. Game & Watch there and make it work somehow, I'm guessing they could do that for Meat Boy.
I have faith that they can make it work. I think it'd be a little weird. Like they'd have to either take out the blood splatter that he leaves behind, or put that in. And I just don't see Nintendo doing that.
Well, you make it the Nintendo way. Instead of being blood, make it sweat.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
There you go.
All right, there you go. I can't argue with that. No, but they could make attacks. Like he has a bunch of different hazards. It'd probably be a lot of hazards, like the spikes, traps, and the saw blades, and the electricity, and maybe even throwing the Mr. Fetus or something. Which, saying that out loud, probably not. But yeah, they could make the gameplay work. I just think it's kind of against what Nintendo is with the whole family fun sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised they didn't put the people from Wonderful 101 in there.
I have no idea what that is.
It'd be hard for me to explain, but it's a really good-looking Wii U game that, if you have a Wii U, it's worth looking into. I've never played it myself, but I've seen gameplay of it, and it looks really phenomenal.
What is it called? Wonderful 101?
Yep, 101.
Oh, so the Beautiful Joe.
Yeah, that type of character.
Yeah, okay. Beautiful Joe, that's a character I'm surprised that hasn't made it in.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. That would work. Beautiful Joe would work perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
He was great in MVC3, Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yep.
He'd totally work out in this.
Yeah.
That'd be another dream character I'd like to see in it.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's talk about Hollywood. Huh? You guys want to talk about Hollywood? Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
let's talk about Hollywood.
Hollywood.
We'll talk about Hollywood and Gaming Wood, and the fact that they're remaking everything. Hollywood is remaking all classic movies, and the gaming universe really isn't doing the same thing when it comes to remaking. Fans are asking for remade games. We want to see this game remade. So why is it harder for video game companies to remake a classic compared to Hollywood remaking like a shitty movie like Titanic? You know, they can make shitty remakes of movies left, right, and center. House on Haunted Hill, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th. Mainly a lot of horror movies, but but yet Hollywood or Gaming Wood, the gaming universe just hasn't jumped onto that. So why?
Two reasons that I can see. One, I feel like the expectations are a bit too high, and people who play games, like they know when you completely remake a game, I don't know. I don't think they usually sell to. I don't know of too many like complete remakes. I know games like Tomb Raider have done well, but I think it might just be too much work and it's very unstable. And then there's the other possibility of HD remakes. I mean, how many HD remakes have you seen come out in the last few years alone? And it's way easier and cheaper to just slap on some nice graphics onto it rather than doing a complete new engine and finding new voice actors if need be. It is for a lot of people a dream. Like there's certain games I'd like to see redone, but I feel like it's a lot more work. I don't make movies
but
at all, so.
you know, there are some examples though, right? I mean, we have Bionic Commando, we have DuckTales, but we gotta remember as well, right? The video game industry, it's not as mature as the movie industry, not by a long shot. So, you know, we have to go through phases, I believe. That's why we are not seeing the same things. But give it time, and we'll be having the same exact trends as the movie industry has.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think that would be? 20 more years?
Could be. I mean, I don't know. You know, it does advance really fast. Well, not lately, to be honest, but it's been advancing really fast, at least until this last generation. I don't know, but again, it's hard. I think it's not fair to compare to the movie industry. I think, as I said, the movie industry has had a long way before the video game industry to just try to compare it to.
Very true. That's a very good point. We've had a good 30-ish years? Maybe longer.
Something like that.
Oh, no, I mean, what was in the 1920s where we started having the first silent movies?
Yeah.
The first video game was what, in the 70s? If you consider the Odyssey, the first generation, it was in 70-something, so it's quite a few years.
Yeah.
78, I think.
Yeah. So there you go. You know, 50 years. It's more than 50 years. Is kind of a big leap there.
But then you look at the differences between the movie industry and, you know, yeah, it started out so long ago and where it is to now. The game industry has jumped. You know, it's you know, look from where it started compared to where it is now, right? Like there's certain games where you can't even tell that it's a game because it's so good in the sense of story, in the sense of graphics. You know, I'll use The Last of Us as an example. That right there was a masterpiece. You put that on screen, you got yourself, you know, a Hollywood hit. And of course, there's the stumbles. but you just compare how much the leaps and bounds the gaming industry has done compared to the movie industry. So
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yes, we've been having these really big jumps between generations, but honestly, the jump between this last generation until the one we have now, it wasn't a big leap. It was not. We are getting to a point right now where technology is that we are on a point of diminishing returns, where honestly, even if we had, if you see let's say you have a suit up PC, right? But it's much better than a PS4. It's still even. I understand that most of the games are not developed with the PC in mind, but even if they were, honestly, the difference it's not that huge. Yes, there's going to be a lot of differences, but compare the PS3 versus the PS2, man. That's a huge difference, right? But can you really say the same between the PS3 versus the PS4?
as of right now, probably not. But you look at what's in development when it comes to virtual reality, augmented reality, and the stuff coming out. Yeah, I would say those leaps and bounds are going to be there. I think when they first came out, the PS3 is at its top of its game, or near the top of its game. And the PS4 just came out, and it's new and it's growing. But with what's coming up for the PS4, I think you're going to see that big leap and bound between, like you said, the PS2 and 3.
I'm hoping that we will, but we're near close to the second year already. By that time, at least between the PS4 and PS3, you already noticed the difference, a huge deal. I understand virtual reality, though. We gotta understand that games that are gonna work with virtual reality are not gonna look as good because you have to push two images at once and at very high frame rates in order to look good, right? So the PS4 is not gonna be able to push really amazing graphics on virtual reality. Honestly, they're gonna look like a little bit less or close to a PS3 because, as I said, they have to push really hard, high frame rates and two images with very high resolution. So
no, I agree with that. I just shot a link down there for you guys to take a look at. That link is for the Kickstarter program, the Vitanux, Virtuix Omni, which this is pretty much what you're looking at for the future of PS4 gaming. Is this right here?
Oh yeah, I've seen this a few times. And something that is worth addressing that I kind of agree with what you're saying, Antonio, but at the same time, the one thing that a lot of people focus on is the graphics and a few other things like the processing power, but right now sometimes you have to take a step back, like or sacrifice other things, but gameplay is going to evolve, and the way games are made are going to evolve. And I think at first the games aren't going to look as good as they could on a PS4 because of exactly what you said, but it's like we're stepping out of 2D into a 3D when it comes to like gameplay immersion. Like, you had your 2D games like Mario and stuff, and then you have 3D. But now we have this new level of immersion that we never could have before, this new level of detail, not so much with graphics, but just being able to be in that game. Technology is going to find a way to work around that, so you will eventually get better graphics. But if, and I've tested out the Morpheus for Sony, and yeah, the graphics were terrible, but the way it reacted to me and the way I felt like I was actually in the game, like there's still some quirks to work out, but there's definitely a lot of potential in this, and that's why a lot of companies are getting into it. And I haven't noticed anything with the new games coming out for the PS4 or the Xbox One. There's not much to it, but I think a new technological advance, not just with processing power, but how we perceive games, how we play them, how we interact with them. And that, I think, is one of many new. I guess the word peripheral would be the word to use. I think that will kind of boost gaming to a new level that we didn't experience before.
No, and I agree 100%. The problem is that right now we are not there yet, right? We don't see
totally.
it. Everything we're talking about is potential, right?
Mhm.
And potential is really not reality. So I want to see it when it's done. I want to, because that's the other thing, right? We were talking about, and I agree 100% with what you're saying, because it's the same with movies. Doesn't matter how many special effects it has, or doesn't matter how much involved you get in the story, right?
Right.
It's yeah, I understand the graphics is not everything. I understand 100% that, but also, honestly, how many? I mean, when we jumped from 2D, as you said, to 3D, and now between for a long time we've been in this 3D environment. How many genres we've created, right? But in the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, how many new gaming genres have you guys seen?
Are you talking about with AAA or with just like
Oh,
games in general?
in games in general, uh, yeah, we've got some combinations of genres here and there, but
Mhm.
honestly, I think we've stuck a little bit in that department because I mean, we didn't have even the platforming. We started with the platformers, then the scrolling, then we started doing the shoot 'em ups, and then say, you know what, here are RPGs. So we started developing a lot and very fast new genres, right, to play on, and then it started to slow down, and now I think for quite some years now, I don't think we've had any new genres at all.
I'd say
They
for the
are all
last
the
few years it's
same.
been a combination of other genres.
Yes, combinations, but so
Yeah.
that's why virtual reality, as you said, that could open up new genres, right? Because you're now in it. So, yeah, I'm hopeful for that. Again, to me, it's potential, it's not reality. And right now, at this point in time, I don't see this new generation to be a huge leap as I've seen it before.
Interesting. Tyler, have anything to add to that?
Absolutely not. This is way over my head.
Okay, so what game would you guys love to see to be remade for the new generation of consoles or PC?
Uh,
Ooh.
I
You
got a
could pick
couple of.
any game to be remade in a AAA title, top of the line graphics. Either, would you keep it the same story? Would you change the story up a little bit? What game would it be, and what would you do?
Oh, great. I only right now I'm thinking of one game at the moment. The one game I've been waiting for a sequel, but I don't think it's going to happen. But if they remade the game, I'll be happy for it. Legend of Dragoon on the PlayStation. Ever heard of that game?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I love that game, and I've been waiting for something to happen with it. Um, let's see. Well, I don't know. I just really want to see that game again.
I'd like to see Final Fantasy III for the Super Nintendo. Otherwise, Final Fantasy VI
Okay.
remade.
You took it out of my mouth, man. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
I was about to ask you a question. Which three you're talking about?
The only one North America knows. But that's what I would love to see. I'd love to see that in a new genre, or one that just a game that I really love, Chrono Trigger.
Ah, damn. Yeah. That was one of the two that I was going to say was Chrono Trigger. Definitely.
I'm a
Um,
huge
Yeah, I
fan
mean,
of that game.
honestly, as you guys are saying, honestly, 16-bit RPGs or even 8-bit RPGs will work really well in a remake because they do have a lot of. I mean, a lot of things were set more to the imagination because of how limited the hardware was, and I think that's something that we can really express out with new technology, and I think it does. RPGs themselves, I think, is the best genre to do that because that's where we're gonna really see, come into reality, or to look at much better, to have a lot of the quirks fixed, from the RPGs versus the platformers. I think the platformers. I mean, we've seen the remakes, right? That we already have, like DuckTales and Bionic Commando. But honestly, they look good and they have new things going on. But
hang on, when you say Bionic Commando, do you mean the Bionic Commando rearmed?
Rearmed, yes.
Or the one where his girlfriend
No,
is his arm and you're the 3D?
No, that was a piece of shit.
I forgot about that one until you said that.
Yeah. No, the rearmed one. That's a remake. That one's another thing. Yeah,
that's pretty much the bowl of video games right there.
Yeah.
Shit, man. And I bought it, and man, no. No, don't remember me that. A lot of repressed feelings coming out.
Oh God.
So actually, this brings up a good question. This brings up a really good question. RPGs, you look at a lot of JRPGs, and RPGs are being made for the new consoles. A lot of them are being done in like a 2D / static background type presentation, kind of like what the 16-bit was. Do you think that they should focus on a remake, or even make one of those, kind of like how the Final Fantasy is, a 3D modeled world?
Yes.
That type, or would you want to just see a remade 2D?
No.
Extravaganza.
No, I wanted to see these worlds that you, with your imagination, right? You imagine them to be this grandiose thing, and the graphics really didn't, reflected that. Most of that was left to your imagination. You can argue that that's even better because, like a book, with your imagination, you can make it better than when you eventually see it. But I think that's the genre that it will benefit more, because these are fully realized worlds, right? That you can go back out of the 2D and put it in 3D and look at it in all glory. Not only that, but a lot of the heartwarming dialogue that you had, right? The emotional moments on those games. If you had really good actors like The Last of Us, you mentioned, reimagined and redone those type of scenes, they could have a much more impact, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So because if you when you read the story, those are those are heavy stuff, man, that happens in these games. Heavy stuff. And sometimes, yes, with your imagination you can imagine how sad they are, or how what expressions they had, what kind of tone they're using with their voice. You can imagine that, but how cool would it be to actually see it realized, right? A fully realized world with very good actors, motion capture, and all the good technology as a AAA game, and also, again, fix all the quirks that it had, like the lack of maps, a lot of the grinding stuff. Tweak everything to be better. But again, all those RPGs, I think, they will be the most benefited to a remake as a AAA game versus all the other different genres.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with just about everything he just said. There's a few good points that he points out. One would be definitely, like, not just voice acting, but I mean, technology has come so far to where, even if you want to do mocap, but just like some of those situations in a lot of the older JRPGs are very serious, and they're almost downplayed because you can't see the emotions, you can't hear the voices, and a lot of those games you were played as a kid, so you just couldn't fully understand those things. So the impact is totally downplayed. And having voice acting and like being able to see the emotion in the characters and could really put an impact on the emotional parts of the game. And then a lot of these games are so old that a whole new generation will appreciate these games that they never got a chance to play that we enjoyed as kids, So it'd be re-exposing some of these great stories that, weren't fully popular, because gaming was still growing. It wasn't well known as games grew. Those games, like, people know them, but I never played Final Fantasy VI. I never played a lot of the older JRPGs, and if I did play them, I never got a chance to fully beat them because it just honestly they were too hard for me, and I was too dumb of a kid at the time to go all the way through. I didn't read the dialogue, and there'd be a lot of games that I know that I did play that would definitely benefit that. The one I'm thinking of is it's called Secret of Mana 2 or Seiken Densetsu 3.
Mm-hmm.
That game would be great. Like with everything that you just mentioned, that'd be a good game. I think you could fix some of the gameplay elements because they were limited by their controller and what they knew at the time. Like you kind of had to pause the menu to use some of your magic abilities, but it was one of the first 3-player RPGs that you could play on a Super Nintendo. And that was awesome because you could have a friend. I don't know. I've only played 2 players, but I know if you had a multi-tap, you could play the 3rd character. The story was great. You had multiple characters you could pick from.
Yeah, you could. It started with the first Secret of not the first Secret of Mana because the first Secret of Mana was actually a Game Boy game. But Seiken Densetsu 2, which is the first Secret of Mana for us, that's the first one that you could actually put a multi-tap and play 3 players.
Yeah.
And Seiken Densetsu 3 has the same thing as well.
Yeah, it's a great game. There's a few things with the gameplay I would change, but I'd love to see it in a new 3D element. I'd love to see them emphasize more on the multiplayer because it's just cool. Even it's the only RPG I know of that you could actually walk around town while still having the 2 and 3 player on because they follow you around. You know, every other RPG that you play, there's a few other ones. I don't want to say that, but for the most part, you know, they go inside of you or whatever, and you don't see them until you're in battle. But in this one, they're always there by your side, so it makes it feel like you're not alone. Even if you are playing single player, they're always following you around that little trail. Unless you have another player or another controller turned on, then they follow you within a certain limit. And you know, the Lego games do that, and other co-op games. So it just feels fun, even though you're not really doing anything with talking to people in town. It was a great game to play.
Yeah. Have you played the first Secret of Mana, the Seiken Densetsu 2?
Yes, I have. I never beat it though.
Okay, so but you remember that, right? That even when that feature of they following you, that's not the best thing because they got stuck everywhere. They fixed that, right? So we could fix that. But what you're saying is that that's what I'm saying as well. Because imagine the worlds they create. Can you imagine, like the first time you saw Avatar, right? The world, how beautiful it looked. If we could recreate that, I mean, the worlds there, the different parts of the world in Seiken Densetsu 3, for instance. Can you imagine how gorgeous they can look if a good artist, and good technology was put into them? It will just look gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as I've been saying, RPGs, that's what we want to see remake.
I absolutely agree.
But the only thing we really lose, like if they did remakes, would be this. If they remade, Final Fantasy.
They could still have that as a quirky little thing.
Totally.
They could leave it on.
Maybe they can give you a choice. You want the old laugh or the new laugh?
Right. Something that I think Halo Anniversary, I think that's what it's called, did right was you can switch back and forth between the graphics, and that was an awesome feature in my opinion. To be able to go back and be like, wow, look how far they've gone between this graphics and this graphics.
Yeah, there's a problem though. I didn't get the game to play the campaign. I got it for multiplayer.
Oh, well then.
It's pretty much what I do when it comes to Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
Which, hey, guess what? They announced Black Ops 3. Whoa!
What?
What?
I didn't see that coming.
Seriously? Another Call of Duty game?
It's every year.
It's like a holiday now.
It's like Madden. Another stupid Madden game's coming out.
Man, bring me an NFL Blitz.
Right? Yeah. The ones with after the play hits. Please.
But continuing with the Hollywood discussion, with Hollywood, what game that hasn't been made a movie yet would you like to see made into a movie?
None.
What he said.
If you had the proper director, if you had
Okay.
someone who actually, let's say,
None.
actually
None.
paid attention to the source material.
Let's see here. Man, that's
It's really hard because why I think it doesn't work most of the time, if not all of the time, is because of the medium, right? The interactivity. That's why between a book and a movie can work because it's set on stone. This is how it is, and that's it. On a game, it's interactive. That interactivity, it's really hard to replicate on a movie. I don't think. I don't think it's even possible.
But some were done right. Like, let's say, the Tomb Raider movies. I mean, there was a lot there. The first Mortal
What?
Kombat movie was good.
Well, the first Mortal Kombat was a gimmick and everything, but it was not a great movie. And Tomb Raider, seriously, it's a piece of shit, man. I don't like it. I mean, I don't know. I honestly, at this point in time, I'm not sure there is a good. I'm talking about a good because Mortal Kombat I actually like, and I can go back to it and watch it, and it's cheesy as hell, but it's a good cheesy, right?
yeah, it's entertainment.
Yeah,
It's like a
entertainment.
Transformers movie. The storyline isn't like, oh my god, this is great, I gotta watch it. But you love the explosions and the sounds.
Yeah,
Well,
and rating.
what if they made a movie like they made it as a sequel to a video game? They did it with Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
Oh, that was good. I like the Advent one, but the Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Shit.
I
Yeah,
have
it
not.
looked nice. That's about it.
I have not seen it, but my little brother said it was a good movie.
No, it was shit.
Are you sure?
If you're a fan of the
thing.
Final Fantasy series, it's not good. If you're not a fan and have never played any of the Final Fantasy games, you'll probably like it.
Well,
Exactly.
he only played 9.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, anything's
so-
better than 9.
I'll tell you a good example of what could work. F-Zero would be the next Fast and the Furious game.
Alright, I'd watch that. Yeah.
Right?
See, but like I said, there has been some movies that I think have done really well, who's paid attention to the source material and just hasn't been given the right respect that I think it deserves. One of those is Silent Hill. I thought the movie did really well. Was to the name of the game.
But the games are way much better. That's my problem, right? It's. I mean, can you really say that Silent Hill 2 it's worse than any of the movies? No, it's a much better experience overall. It's really hard to replicate.
Well, because it's a
especially-
longer experience, right?
Yeah.
Well,
It's a longer experience.
Not-
If you
not-
had a
not-
game,
not really the-
that had to
yeah.
follow the same linear time frame as a movie, right? We're not talking 3-hour epic hobbits here. We're talking a 2-hour or an hour and a half movie that has to cram all the information, or in this case, a whole bunch of lore into it. I think Silent Hill did a good job with just paying attention to 2 of the lores, not
Yeah, but
overall.
honestly, for Silent Hill, what is good about the games? It's the interactivity, right? It's how that's the part that I think they can replicate the lore, and they can replicate all that thing, but how can you replicate how you felt while playing the game?
The sense of
You put an investment into the game, like not a financial investment, but like a time and emotional investment into it. But I think what you just said really is what deters me from even thinking about making a movie game or a game into a movie is that 2-hour constraint. If there is no game that I love that I would want to see as a movie if it has to be 2 hours long. In my opinion, if it's going to be a game, or if it's going to be a movie, it needs to be like a series of some sort, or like more than one. That's the only way it's going to work, because you can't cram that much information into like that much enjoyment from a game into a movie. I mean, the books do it, but I mean, like, I think Game of Thrones is great. I've never read the books, but I know that it's a series. It's an hour-long episodes. I think they're 12 episodes long, and they put, instead of trying to condense it into a 2-hour movie, they spread it out and try to get that information as good as the director and the writer allows into it. It's the same thing with a game for the most part. I mean, maybe short games like Call of Duty, yeah, sure, you could make that into a movie, but I mean, there's already enough war movies. But there's talks about Metal Gear Solid. That's my favorite game series ever. I don't know why in the hell you would make a game like Metal Gear Solid that has like 10 hours of cutscenes into a 2-hour movie. That makes no damn sense to me whatsoever.
Maybe
Why would you do that?
Maybe let's just take the cutscene and say, hey, there you go, a movie.
People have done that on YouTube. Like, you can go online and watch the cutscenes online, and they're stupid long. But I'd much rather do that than watch them cut that down into like a tenth of that.
Yeah.
Well, these cutscenes will be updated.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing, right? That's exactly what you said right there, Tevin. It's and that's why I don't think that's why they don't work as movies, because the investment that you put on playing the game. Yeah, the only way I can see it working, it's not as a movie but as a series. You're 100% right there, because that way you can start to invest the people in the characters. The same way as you would invest yourself while playing the game and feeling those different feelings while you're playing the game. But as movies, I don't see them working really well. I just don't.
I will say though, in the defense of games being turned into a video media, two that I think have been done very well. They aren't Hollywood, but they are. I guess you could say they're YouTube. It's Machinima, I want to say, and there's the Mortal Kombat Legacy, which I thought was really good. I thought that was really well done. And then there was the Street Fighter, I think it was Fist of the Assassin, and these were made by fans of the games, and you can see that if you ever played either the Mortal Kombat or the Street Fighter series, they did their homework. Even like Ken's hair length during like this certain part of the show was accurate to Ken's hair length, because that changes. As a Street Fighter fan, like during the timeline of it, his hair length changes, and they got that to detail. They got the different characters' names and the fighting styles, and they did it really right. They did it to surface. You could see the love in it, and it was low budget, but they put that time into it, into that investment into it, getting to know the characters. And the same thing with Mortal Kombat. I don't know if you guys have seen either of those. If you haven't, check it out. They're really good. I'd say they're better than the movies. And the Street Fighter one, or the Mortal Kombat one, I'm sorry, it's like a total rehash, they're not totally following the game lore, but they did a really good job of doing their own version of it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
See, but that's the whole thing, is when you have people who are passionate about the project, who can do it right.
Yeah.
I think Hollywood's just missing the mark. I mean, Uwe Boll has made more video game movies than any other director, right? And I think that's the biggest problem. He did House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark, all the Blood Rain movies, Postal, Far Cry. Those are shitty movies, right? They're shitty movies from a shitty director. Oh, and In the Name of the King. In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege tale, could have been a really good fantasy movie. It really wasn't that bad when you have, a headlining star of Jason Statham in the lead role. Right? Could have been good. But when you have directors who don't give a shit about the project, or studios who don't know what the product is and don't care, example, the Resident Evil series, right? There's something that could have been done well. Or how the studio didn't give a shit and how they ended up doing Doom. Right?
My friend told me Doom was good.
It had nothing to do with the movie, pretty much. I mean, the game.
Yeah, exactly. It was just an alien space shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much missed opportunity because they missed the back lore of the game.
Yeah.
Right? Need for Speed, that newest movie, I actually thought that was well done. I think it was good. But the movies that are coming up, we have Heavenly Sword, the new Hitman movie, coming out. Hitman Agent 47 looks really good. Ratchet and Clank, Uncharted,
Sly Cooper.
Pikmin, Sly Cooper, Angry Birds, Assassin's Creed, the Warcraft movie that's coming out March 11th, 2016. Metal Gear Solid, Sonic the Hedgehog, Cut the Rope, Mass Effect.
Oh, they're doing a Sonic the Hedgehog one?
Yep.
Well, that's news. That's news to me.
All these movies are news to me.
Temple Run, Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, they're rebooting the Tomb Raider movie, Just Cause: Scorpion Rising, Deus Ex: Human Revolution, Splinter Cell, Mortal Kombat reboot, The Last of Us, Shadow of the Colossus, Minecraft, Gran Turismo, and Five Nights at Freddy's.
I heard about that last one.
How are they going to do Shadow of the Colossus? I mean, seriously, I played that game and I got bored of it.
Oh man.
Oh, don't you get me started. Antonio in another podcast shit all over.
No. He was Andrew. I never played the game. That's what I said.
I mean, I played Ico, and Ico was fantastic. So when I got Shadow of Colossus, I got really bored really fast.
Because you're not a gamer. You're a collector. You just sit there and you collect your games. You don't talk shit about Shadow of the Colossus.
well, I said Ico was pretty darn good.
That's enough out of you.
Okay, podcast is over.
Yeah, we're done. We're done here, everyone. But no, I think we just got two more things to go over here real quick, and I think one of them is, again, so I guess final thoughts is no movie to game, or game to movie.
My last thing would be if they did it in a CG instead of actual actors. I would consider watching it.
If they made a movie like a sequel to a movie like they did with Final Fantasy VII, I'll be okay with it.
And Antonio says nothing.
No movies.
Okay. Okay. We have the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo coming up, which is just next weekend. We have two groups of people going who are going to be giving you guys tons of footage and pictures and hopefully a wonderful amount of stuff that will be on our site. So make sure you check that all out. I love the expo times because we got just so much to talk about, afterwards. So with that being said, if you guys could dress up as any character that you haven't dressed up as already, Tyler and Scorpion, what would you dress up as?
Diddy Kong Racing Elephant.
They took mine.
You dress up as an elephant?
Diddy Kong's Racing Elephant.
Sly Cooper.
Sly Cooper? That's a cool one.
Now, you know which one I would love to have? Like Jim Raynor in the StarCraft. If I were able to have that big exoskeleton thing.
Suit.
Yeah, Space Marine suit, yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I'd be a Tauren from Warcraft. And do their awesome Warcraft dance.
There you go. Me, I'd pick a Colonial Marine from Aliens because that's like my favorite movie, and I like the game too. So suck it. Suck it. Suck it. Suck it.
If only if I saw the movie.
Why suck it? No one's saying anything about it.
That was a preemptive suck it. You got defensive.
Super preemptive. Everyone was agreeing. It's like suck it.
No, because I know the game is. Everyone says the game is bad, which you know what it is. It really Sega and that whole fiasco. But I mean, overall, I'm just a huge fan of the Aliens series overall. And I mean, if I can sit through Alien Resurrection, I can play Alien Colonial Marines.
Wait, I was thinking of the newer Aliens.
Isolation?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the one before that. That was like the big shitty one.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say that because the new one I heard great things about.
Oh yeah, the new one's great. The new one's actually fantastic. But the other one that was made by the guys who made Borderlands and siphoned money out of the Alien Resurrection Fund to make Borderlands.
Okay.
Dang.
Yeah, bastards.
Gaming politics.
Oh, gaming politics
Game
and
corruption.
Fox and Sega and everyone getting their panties in a knot. The fact that Fox paid and made that this Colonial Marines is going to be lore, is going to be actually the next step in what happened in the Aliens movies franchise, and then they fucked it up the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Was just absolutely shocking, and just the company that did Borderlands. Hey, I like Borderlands 2, but to steal money and to make your own game and just to piss all over everybody and say, look at this really cool game we have coming out, and look at all this it does, and when a game comes out, it's nothing like the demo.
Hmm.
Kind of a piss off.
So you're saying the demo was better?
Oh, no, they just straight up, like, if you do a side-by-side comparison, which if you go on YouTube, someone's done it for you, there's a side-by-side comparison of the graphics and, like, the lighting and everything, and the it's not a demo, it's like a prototype of the game, like I forgot, pre-alpha or alpha of the game,
Yeah.
and then you actually compare it to the gameplay that you get when you pay the $60 for it. The demo is better than the actual game.
Think
Like a side-by-side
Killzone.
comparison.
Yeah, think Killzone 2 times 100.
But
Remember the Killzone 2 demo
Yeah.
thing that
Oh.
was shown for the PlayStation?
yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I know Watchdog got a bit. I know Watchdog had like, oh, look at these graphics, but then we get it, it's not as good as he said it was.
Yeah, that's a whole topic we can get into another day too. It's like
Oh,
game
yeah.
politics and game corruption and misleading.
I think that'd be a good point, when we're all on board here for sure. Gaming politics. For the next
Gamergate.
podcast.
We, I might be able to get into that. Let me do my homework though.
There you go.
I've got a lot on that to talk about.
Yeah.
Just search Gamergate.
Ugh.
I heard a lot of negative and positive, so
Yeah.
I guess I
feel-
really.
I feel bad for the affiliates that we had, Gamersgate, where we had games distributed through them in one of our stores, and when this whole Gamersgate fiasco came out, they're pretty much nobody knows about the Gamersgate video game site where you can buy video games. Yeah.
I also see a lot of negative things about Gamergate, which I know nothing about, but I hear a lot of good things from other people.
We can probably talk about that another time. That will just take us through another 2-hour conversation.
Oh, yeah, I really should do my homework if we're going to do that.
For sure.
There you go. So the last thing I want to talk about is we have the video game Hunter and Gadako's retro reviews. Did I say that right? Gadako? Blip blip? No, he's not gonna even answer. He's not gonna give me the dignity of saying if I'm right or not.
Well, it makes you happy.
Nothing.
It makes you happy. I am working on a review, and this will be my first review in a really long time because I took a break from it to do another experiment project I did.
Your Mortal Kombat dancing?
No, I was after I did a review for a while, I really want to do something else, and I had ideas like, hey, I want to talk about my past experience with stuff, and I came up with my little nostalgia when I talked about the PlayStation of my experience with it.
Oh.
Huh.
So, with us being YouTubers and the fact that I know a lot of our stuff for the Console Xplosion is, of course, monetized because it is what it is. I don't know if the video game Hunter stuff is monetized. I don't know if Antonio's stuff is monetized, so this might not even affect them. But YouTube has come out with a new monetization plan, and the monetization of revenues, the 55% of the advertising revenue, and the 55% of the subscription revenue. Have you guys heard about this?
Yes, I have. I got the email.
Yeah, me too. But honestly, For how much I make, it doesn't make a difference for me.
Which is true because if you don't make a lot, yeah, it's not going to affect you. But going forth, all it takes is one video, right? And that one video everyone sees, then they check the rest of your stuff out. Next thing you know, you're rolling in the dough.
Yeah.
Sadly, only one of my videos making dough. And it's not much. I'm getting about like $9 to $11 a month for that one video.
Well, there you go.
That's very good because that's what I'm making for 6 months or so.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it's very few. To me, I mean I don't think it really affects me.
Well, get this. It wasn't even gaming related.
Oh, really? What was it?
It was My Little Pony related.
Oh.
I did an experiment with using After Effects for the very first time, and I was like, okay. I was like, well, that's as far I can get done. Let's upload it. And next thing I know, I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, 30,000 views, 40,000 views, and at the point last time I checked, it was around 200,000.
Wow.
Dang.
That's
Why
the
aren't you doing
most.
more of those?
Yeah. So with the whole subscription plan, because YouTube's want to become a subscription program now, kind of like how Twitch is. So this gives people like yourself who don't make a lot off advertising, but has a chance to make a lot off subscription. Do you think this is going to be something that's going to be beneficial for YouTube overall, or something that's just going to have them crash and burn?
I think it'll be good if they do it tactfully. I mean, you don't have to pay a dime on Twitch. You still get advertisements. I know that's one of the things. Like, if you pay, I don't know if you're paying for like the individual to subscribe, or if you're paying YouTube, but you can get the advertisements taken away, from what I understand.
See, but that's my question, is because they don't really explain it as a whole subscription thing, is do you have to subscribe per person or per content creator like you do on Twitch?
No. From what I
It's
understand,
the 55% of the subscription fee.
no. From what I understand, it's more of them. You paying a subscription, and all of YouTube will be ad free. Then, if those guys click on your video, you get a portion, the 50% of it. Of course, shared with everyone else that he's clicking on. That's my understanding. Right now, we don't have all the details because we don't even have pricing of how much it's gonna be or whatnot. But I really think that this is good for them because with ad blocker and with all those different things, I think that YouTube they even posted losses right last quarter.
Yep.
So yeah, I think this is a good move for them. I think this is the right move for them. I don't see how this could make it worse than it already is.
Well, my thing about it is, if they just going to do a hey, pay $10 a month to get no ads, I want something a little bit more than just no ads, like exclusive shows, like
Well, yeah.
Netflix.
You do get exclusive things, I believe. Like,
Yeah.
I think uploaders can make their shows exclusive. I don't know the details on that. I think it's probably still sort of vague, but you do get more than just free ads.
Yes, they're actually doing like they're trying to land like Hollywood movies to be exclusive because YouTube already has movies. So now you can download the movies offline and watch them at your own leisure, unlimited viewing when you subscribe. That's what they want to do. They already have a subscription thing for their music, for the YouTube music. So they want to do it for the videos now, which again to me, revenue-wise, like if it's how Antonio says, where if the person pays the X amount of dollars and then all YouTubers get X amount if he clicks you, like I don't know, that just seems like you're getting 0.0000000 of a penny.
Mhm.
Right? So you look at
that's still more than one guy that clicks on you that has ad blocker.
Yeah.
even
He's
this,
more, He's most likely not going to get the subscription thing if all it does is block ads when he can already do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I believe this whole thing actually started because of that, right? I think YouTube would have been much better if, if they can. I think they can block, right? The ad blocker thing. They could try to get us around it if they could.
Probably if you're using Chrome.
Yeah. But I mean, with like Firefox and Linux and different operating systems, it does make it pretty harder for them. But one thing that is actually in their new terms and policies that does have a lot of YouTubers scratching their heads is in the addendums for number 3, pay terms, limitations, and taxes. Under A, if one or more third-party claims to a certain element of your content, except in cases where YouTube policies or system support sharing a portion of your revenues with you, as determined by YouTube, means that YouTube doesn't have to pay you at all.
No, what sucks about those content identification they make? One of my videos, I don't barely get any views for it, but I made a video where, one day I got a content, what do you call it, copyright notice that, hey, this is copyrighted. I'm like, really? I just got permission to use a song, and it wasn't the song they were copywriting, it was the little sound effects. And not only that, after I won the case, another case popped up saying, hey, this is copyrighted. Same thing, sound effects. And it's happened like 6 or 7 times with different companies.
So with that being said, when something like that comes up, with the way that it's written, meaning that if you have one of those claims on your videos, they don't need to pay you.
Well, it's the same way that it's right now, right? If they hit you with that claim, you're not being monetized for that video.
That video, yes, but they don't have to pay you your amount for at all that you earned.
It's not per video, it's for everything?
Exactly. They don't need to pay you shit.
That's bullshit.
One third party
it is BS. I had to deal with it for a good old 3 or 4 months winning these claims.
So that's what I'm saying. So now you're going to be, as YouTubers, you're losing amounts. I might be wrong on this, but, because just the way that they've talked about it, once you hit $1,000 or $100, we pay you in your local currency, every approximately 60 days at the end of the calendar month.
Yeah, that's true. I got paid once.
Earn or receive any revenue if one or more third-party claims are against your content.
What do you mean?
Kind of vague.
If I have more than one?
One or more.
If you have one or more.
For all my videos or for that video?
For all your videos, because they pay you $100 total, but we don't need to pay you if you have one or more third-party claims.
Okay, then we have a problem there.
Do you see? And that's the issue.
Because I do have one video like, okay, yeah, I should have done that, but I did, so I'll allow it. And
a lot of the third-party claims sometimes they're easy, and a lot of the third-party claims is because of things like, oh, well, you're using, our song, so you fight it and they allow it. Done. But a lot of fighting those systems, those automated monetization systems, is kind of a pain in the butt.
Yes, they are. I experienced it.
Well, let me ask this. Can you remove the claim? Or can you have the claim removed if you settle it? Or is that always going to be on it even if you do settle it?
No, if you win the claim, it's gone.
If you win the claim. But sometimes you'll have on there, like we fought with Universal Studios. The Console Explosion fought with Universal Studios over a 10-second clip of Dracula Untold. They said, this is copyright, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, that's fine, but under fair use, because we used it for our news program, which in Canada is fair use, but because we're fighting with an automated system, it took 29 days for them to get back to me. So on the 29th day, they said, nope, we don't care. And, we still had the claim on there, so I went back to them and said, again, this is fair use, this is what it is, blah, 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 here's the law. And they said, okay, fine. we'll take any revenues from your video. And I said, that's fine. There's no revenue on the video.
Well,
And then they said, okay, fine. But then it still has third-party claim next to that video.
Oh, that's lame. Well, can you remove the video to remove the claim?
Yeah, but if you re-upload it at any time, it comes back.
why don't you just take the video off and just put a picture?
Well, that was the whole thing. It's like they wanted to mute, they wanted to mute it. But I mean, that's not the problem. The problem is the fact that there's still that third-party claim, meaning that I wouldn't get paid.
Yeah.
Right? Under the new policy.
Well, here's the thing. Talking about the claim with my video, they say, "Hey, you're using this." I'm like, "Okay, let's find that song. I'm going to listen to it." It had nothing to do with the sound effect I was using. And now it's like, nope. And next claim, okay. Oh, you just happen to use the same sound effect in your video while many other music industry were using it. And I'm like, you don't own that right. And I kept on going. Man, it was forever. It was such a big pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a console explosion, we battle with certain people, which it is what it is. A lot of the companies are easy, but some of them are not. Nintendo's the worst. They will go after you for music. They will go after you for gameplay. They will go after you for pictures.
That's true, but so far I've only been on with the music. The rest of my videos are fine.
So, that's what it is. That's the new policy of YouTube. Hopefully there'll be some more clarification. There hasn't been a lot on it, but it is something that I do know a lot of YouTubers are kind of scratching their head about.
Yeah, I'm looking to get into YouTubing soon, and this is all scaring me. Oh,
Yeah.
well, all right.
You're better off not monetizing and running a Patreon account.
Be on my
But that's
P's and
begging for
Q's.
money.
I'm not ready for Patreon. It's like, okay, this seems like a lot more work than I can do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that right now.
Yeah, you have to like, okay, we would do this each month. I'm like, I can't really do that each month.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know. I have everything monetized because I am, from what I understand, that way you can get a little bit of more publicity from YouTube, rather if you're not. That's the only reason, honestly, for me to do that, to try to get more publicity out of YouTube. But if that wasn't the case, I really would not. I would just turn that off. I don't care.
Well, yeah, if YouTube liked your video enough, they put you on the spotlight, which one of my videos did, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
but
you're looking at least you need at least 10,000 likes, at least 10 comments, and at least 50 shares within a certain 7-day period. Or 10,000 views, sorry, 10,000 views. And if you have that, you get put up on the spotlight.
Well, here's the thing. That video was 6 months old before I was put on spotlight.
Exactly. So within a 7-day period, that happened, or something in that reached that amount, and then they put you up on the spotlight.
Somebody posted on Reddit and blew up.
Yeah.
Really? Mine was a crappy, hey, here's a picture, here's another picture, I'm going to use Puppet Tool. And I was like, okay, let's upload it.
But that's the whole thing. That's how YouTube works, and that's why there's a lot of other MCNs out there, multi-channel networks, right? Who offer, promotion through themselves, through their, if they have a million people underneath them, they'll promote through them, your video through them. So hopefully you'll get the same amount, but you share revenue through that MCM, right?
That's true. I receive a couple of them already.
But don't you ever have a number of subscribers before you can start monetizing?
Well, they contacted me and said, hey, we saw your game channel. Would you like to be a partner with us? I'm like, nope. Then I got one for, what was that? I can't remember. It was like, they deal with cartoons. Say, hey, you made a cartoon. And I'm like, yeah, but that wasn't my drawing. That was a puppet. That's all Puppet Tool.
Well, to join Machinima, you need to have at least 1,000 subscribers, at least 10,000 views a week. to join them. Some of them, like Freedom, you need nothing, but a lot of MCMs you're signing into a 2 to 3 year contract, right?
Yeah, the cartoon people gave me, hey, you want to do a 1 year contract, and another person's like, hey, you can cancel anytime you want.
Exactly.
I don't feel like dealing with them, so I said no to both of them.
Or you can say, screw you all MCMs, and I'm going to join the Console Xplosion and get exposure on the website and be on their podcasts and join the gaming community that's taking over the internet.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, when you guys first contacted me, I was like, oh great, another one. But then I was like, okay, let's look at them at first, like I did with the other two. I was like, oh wait, this is legit. This is legit. I'm looking at you guys' interviews. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I'll contact you guys back.
That's the thing, we offer a lot, right? Like we put out there, we give everyone who's part of us chances to go to expos, to go to events, to cover any expos or conventions in their area, chances to test products, chances to do reviews on things. We try to get those for everybody. We're always asking people to be a part of podcasts, to help, cross promote, work together as a community, because really everyone that's part of the Console Xplosion has been fantastic. You guys are great. You guys great products. You guys have great content. I watch everyone working together. I know Antonio's worked well with some of our other creators, which has been fantastic.
Yeah, honestly, I never expected anyone to, just throwing ideas out and say, like I started with Andrew saying, hey, do you think you could do something like this? And it's like, sure, and he helped me out and said, oh, that's good. And then, I think we're working really well together. I think everyone is doing their part.
Yep.
And then I think, yeah, and plus you get to talk to us delightful people. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah,
exactly.
That's the best perk right there.
Exactly. We have an open forums. We have our forums that people can talk on. We have our chat groups throughout our Facebook pages that everyone's a part of. The Console Xplosion is very open, and I'm very happy to have everyone a part of it. All the people that are, content providers, all the people that are news providers. Tavian has done some great stuff, and being part of the podcast, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's good. So, we're always looking for other people to join, tip the hat. So, yeah. Do you guys have any final thoughts or anything to add?
Let's pierce the heavens.
I
think your microphone kind of went wonky.
Yeah, what was it?
He's a robot.
Let's pierce the heavens, man.
There you go. Awesome.
Okay.
Anything?
Have
I
you
can't
guys
top
seen
that.
Gurren Lagann, the anime?
So long ago.
Oh yes, I saw that recently. I did not like the other half though.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
That's what he said right there. Let's pierce the heavens, man.
I was actually thinking of Evangelion.
Oh.
Did you hear about that Kickstarter where they want to put a spear on the moon?
I still think they need to put a man on the moon.
Well, that's a Kickstarter where they want to launch a spear and make it land on the moon.
Conspiracy. But nonetheless, my name is Cazteck, always from here at the Console Xplosion, saying goodbye from finally No Snow, Ottawa, Ontario. Again, it's great to have you guys a part of us or on the podcast. You can always check out the Console Xplosion on our Facebook. Always check us out on our website for all your gaming needs. Follow us on Twitter and all our tweets and twits and Twitter bits at the Console Xplosion. You have any questions or concerns? Hey, shoot it down there in the comments or check out our forums. Link is in the description, and I'll throw it to Tyler.
Oh, this is Tyler, also known as the Video Game Hunter. You can check me out on DeviantArt, Video Game Hunter, Facebook, the Video Game Hunter, and my YouTube. Thanks for having me.
Hey guys, this is Tavian. It's also known as The Philosopher. You can follow me on Twitter at The Philosopher, and then also on Facebook, facebook.com/The Philosopher.
And this is Antonio from always really nice weather, Guadalajara, Mexico. And you can check me out on YouTube, Gokado Retro Reviews. And Twitter, it's Gokadito, @Gokadito. Hopefully there will be links down below.
There's that robot voice again.
He's a Terminator.
The
Oh, God.
great internet that I have here.
That's what you get when you're in Guadalajara, Mexico.
All that good weather interfering
Maybe
with
I can
the
use
internet.
your voice in one of my videos.
There you go, yeah. But anyways, this is Cazteck saying goodbye. And again, hasta la vista.